Weekend Movie Reviews, where I'm Jacob, and this is my brother.
These intros never get easier, do they? I'm Ray.
He's boring. He's boring, guys. Okay. I am Jacob from Jacob is Here, and he is Ray from RZ Jones 18, which, is a dormant channel. But hey, that's okay. And we have several news stories to talk about today, such as Disney to Warner Brothers to horrible decisions to Olivia Wilde. All will be answered. Also, we have slight tea. Not RT, but tea. So,
Huh?
exactly. Are you ready to get started?
I am.
Where would you like to start?
Um.
You know the list.
I know the list. I figured we'd save the bigger stuff for later. I figure we put the TV stuff together, like Boys, Mandalorian, all that kind of stuff together.
Well, the Boys will be at the very end. That's how we're ending the podcast. Or we can start it. It's either we start it or we end it. I figure it's probably the best places.
Then let's start with the Boys, because I think the Boys is the freshest of everything that we're going to talk about for you and me specifically.
All right, Zachary, do you want to talk about this new segment that we're bringing onto our podcast?
Yes.
No. Do you want to describe what it's about? What we're doing here?
So, as it says, we're going to be reviewing the first 4 episodes as they are doing weekly for The Boys Season 2. Episodes 1 through 3 dropped last Friday, and this past Friday was episode 4, and we're going to get into it. And I think we both vary when it comes to certain things about the show and how they're treating it. But I think we can both unanimously agree that Season 2 is not far off of what Season 1 was, which is just fun.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm happy to be back in the world. I'm happy to be back with these characters that we so much adore and things. But I don't know. I'm expecting a little bit more because this is Season 2 and Season 1 was so good that I don't think we have reached that level yet. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been better. Huh?
Why don't you start us off?
All right. I figured normally what we'll do, we'll review the episode at hand. But because we're reviewing a conjunction of episodes and stuff, because they released the last 3 last week in episode 4, and we didn't have podcasts, to cover it and stuff. I'm just going to talk about as a whole and in general. And I want to first start with more controversial stuff that's been going on this season with Stormfront, our brand new. Huh?
That's what you love to do.
What do you mean?
Start with controversy.
Of course, gotta get it out of the way first. Don't you agree? I agree. So we're going to start with Stormfront. Stormfront is a brand new character that is a neo-Nazi in the comics. I don't think a lot of people know that. Fun fact. And it's being shown here. I mean, direct down details to her costume. It definitely shows the angle that they're going at and things like that. But the controversy lies in the fact that she has said a few things and killed I don't know how to talk about this.
Just be blunt, because the show is.
So episode 3 ends with her killing a whole building full of black people, not in specifically any type of black people, but people of color that are down on their luck, who are, struggling. It was in, one of the apartment complexes. So that was horrible. And then episode 4 has her killing another black person for being black. No other reason is this except for the fact of the color of and that's the same thing with the apartment building. And then she made the comments about her brother, which were it's just a lot. It is a lot. And I really hope the payout for this a lot, is good. I don't want something where it's like, oh, we have this cool thing, but we don't really know what to do with it, so we're just going to leave it here, I also personally don't want Stormfront to be in season 3. I think she's a fine little character to be right now, but I would love to move going forward, and so I do hope her whole story arc is in these 8 episodes. That's Stormfront. I liked her though, which is the sad part, is I really did vibe with her for the first 3.5 episodes. There's a lot that she said, and I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with you. We could be on the same page. And then she did some horrible, horrendous things, and I was like, okay, there is no page. You're right. Yep. Nope, not there. Not with one another. Homelander is by far still one of my favorite characters. He is hilarious. It's so fucking funny. And I really want to talk about the final scene of episode 4, if that's okay. Because it was by far my favorite. One of my favorites of
Spoiler.
Oh, this whole thing spoilers. I don't
So,
want to.
but just to let everybody know, when I do this again, spoilers are done. It's also playing with hat.
That easy.
All right.
I mean, we're talking about season 2, and like there is no non-spoiler here. And so, him almost fucking himself literally like was everything, and then like they got so far, and I was like, wait, are they really gonna do this? Because it would make so much sense. And I'm so down for it. Now then he kills it, and I don't like the fact that he killed the character, just because I feel like in the long run he's gonna regret that decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sure he didn't want Madeline at that moment, but 10 days from now he might want Madeline again. And I don't know how many people have this many powers. They've not really talked about powers indirectly if they're only single to one person.
Right.
Homer's child is his child, and so that could be the reason why they got passed down to him.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, you know, they really, I think, need to build a little more with on the mythology and the lore of it. I think that right there is a little, you know, tiny in process. Also, I love Stargirl, and I love Star. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Don't change what I say.
What you said.
Stargirl's
a great DCU show.
Oh, what? Oh, what's his name?
Huey,
thank you. I think that's phenomenal, and I'm just so happy. I really hope this relationship I'm so excited. But overall, like I said, I very much enjoyed these 3 episodes. I think it was low on action, not enough action in my personal 4 episodes, not enough action in my personal taste, and I would want something more. And so I really do hope episode 5 has that big wow moment. I think we need one. Don't let it be the biggest wow moment of the season, but give me something. You know, I need something more.
Just wait, those are my tits at the end of the episode. That's the wow factor for the season.
I'll be really mad. Flat out. Wouldn't be shocked, but would be mad. I don't know. Overall, very much enjoyed it. I don't like the whole weekly release schedule. I just don't think the episodes can handle one another. Because episode 4 was so slow, I wanted something a little more faster afterwards. And so episode 5, I think, would really have helped with that whole thing. And I didn't need a whole week to process it, as they say I should. So
fair enough. So I'm going to start where you just ended with the whole weekly process of them releasing it. I personally loved it. I got used to this kind of standard when it came to Mandalorian last year of waiting week to week. Same thing with the Clone Wars earlier this year. Which waiting, yep, we'll get to that. But I've gotten used to getting back to watching weekly episodes of TV shows again with certain shows that I've been doing. And I honestly think that The Boys has done it a lot better than Mando did, because unlike Mandalorian, Boys gave us 3 episodes to start the season off, whereas with Mando we got 1. And I think the pacing in the beginning of this season is stronger than the beginning of the first season of Mandalorian. I think they pick their pace up really well with those 3 episodes, because it's a 3 episode arc, really, when you look at it. It starts off with how they were, and then they end it with the whole scenario with Stormfront and Kamiko's brother. And so I think episodes 4, 5, and 6 are going to be a 3-part arc of them trying to find out what Compound V, Liberty, and all that goes together. And then 7 and 8 will be a 2-part finale. So that's why I think it's going to how it's going to turn out to be.
Then they should have released it with arcs.
Huh?
Then they should have released it with arcs instead of weekly.
Yeah, but you can also do shows with arcs with weekly.
They're not as fun.
I think I think you and I feel like we should be more used to it, because this is how we were. This is how TV was when we were kids. Like it wasn't binging, and now, you know, unfortunately, streaming services have to fight each other, and the only way to keep streaming services alive is to have weekly and binge shows too. I mean, for every, you know, Mandalorian, you're going to get your binge show after that. So it's both ways. To me, the highlight so far of the season is Anthony Starr's Homelander. Once again, he knows how to run a show with a blue cape, with a red cape, and a blue costume, and doesn't give 2 fucks what he says. And he shows that a lot so far in this season, particularly episode 4, when he does very interesting things with his own team. And I found that very interesting as well.
Well, you can say what those things are. You don't have to talk around yourself.
Just straight out giving out Lady Maeve being gay. I thought that was a very interesting decision on his front. But I think what I liked about episode 4 specifically was that Homelander is no longer in to give shits mode. He wants everything laid out on the table for him, and that's why the scene between him and Starlight in the elevator is my favorite. Is my favorite scene of episode 4, because when she looks at him and goes, "Am I lying?" He can tell she's telling the truth, and that's why the relationship stuff for me does not work this season. Because I honestly think Starlight's pulling a pull right now. What she says at the train to Huey before she leaves, and then the whole thing with Becca and Butcher, it just makes me realize relationships in this show, I'm not going to get behind any of them because they're not meant to last. They're meant to be there to be a boost of confidence for that character and then slowly taken away. And that's what they're doing right now with Huey and Starlight. They have their moment together, which they shouldn't have done to begin with. They were so telling her not to be a soup in front of that explosion, and then Huey and Starlight fucking in the next room. Clear indication something's going on there. I wish that their relationship was smarter, because I know both Huey and Starlight are smart, and what they're doing right now is not smart. Them being that open with each other, with everything going on, is not smart. And so therefore it takes me out of that relationship. And it's the exact opposite when we get to Billy and Becca. Whereas I think that Becca is being the smarter of the two because she knows Billy would kill that kid in a heartbeat. Because like he says in the episode, he is $1 billion revenue for the company and they'll do anything to get him back. Now, then I think he pushed it a little bit too far when he said he called him a super freak. Tiny bit. Because I've actually grown to like the kid. I actually like Ryan a lot, and I actually prefer his right now communication with Homelander. And I think what they're doing right now with the two of them is really cool. And for some odd reason, I feel like Homelander is going to come out to be the good person in the end when it comes to that kid. Like he's going to see how bad that the Supes are treated right now, and he doesn't want that to happen for his son. Hence why he's trying to raise him up and say, "Listen, you are this being. You can do whatever you want." But I kind of hope Homelander sees what Stormfront's doing and says, "Don't do that. What she's doing is not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be the heroes, but we're heroes in our own right, not what people tell us to be." That's what I'm kind of hoping happens with the kid. However, I kind of hope that we're done with that for a little bit now for the season. The Madison Stillwell stuff freaked me out the moment it started. I'm like, "You're dead." I kept screaming at the TV, "You're dead." 2 lasers went through your head. You're dead. It made no sense. And then Doppelganger happened. I'm like, interesting. And then the ending happened. And that's where the camel broke the straw's back. Because if you listen to Doppelganger when he's about to do the thing to Homelander, he's like, "Everyone's going to love you." That's when it happened. That's when Homelander's like, "I don't need anyone to love me. I just need to be myself." And then that's when he snaps his neck. And I'm like, so there he goes. That's the snap. That's what Stormfront's wanted the entire time, is for him to snap. And he finally did. My least favorite part of this entire season is the Deep. I'm so over this church stuff with him and trying to find a wife or whatever. It's boring. It's getting repetitive. And I think that the Deep, as a character, deserves more than this Beeline story. Because we're going to get a great gag at the end of it all. And that's the end of it. He's not going to do anything else for the season. Frenchie and Kimiko, I hope we get more out of that relationship. Mother's Milk, to me, honestly, is an annoying character. He has his moments, like the episode 4, the moment in the shop with Starlight when they're having the donut, and then the talk with the old soup before, or the girl before we find out about what happened with that. But he's always just nagging on about, being safe, being quiet, being careful, yada, 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 yada. And it gets really...
You mean him just saying the logicness of it, and you just don't want there to be logic? Is that what I'm getting at? Because that's
I get logic, but it's all he says. He never says anything else. He's only worrying about logic. And
feedback. I mean, it would make sense. He doesn't want to fuck up.
That's far away from it now. But the character I want to know more about, we talked about last night on the phone. I want more Black Noir.
I know possible spoilers. I'm not going to say, but I know possible spoilers.
You and spoilers, man, they just come at you like a magnet.
I can't get away from them. I try. fucking try. And every single time something pops up, they could change it. They're changing a lot of different things from the comics. But just because I read the comics, I kind of have an idea of where they're taking it. I know the big reveal. So if they go down that route.
So now I haven't really talked about Stormfront at all. I kind of let her be your thing because I don't know really what to say about her. I absolutely love the performance Aisha Scott's giving. She is incredible. My favorite scene of the entire show so far is when her and Starlight are doing the whole girls' power thing, and she goes off on the people about, just being girls, and that shouldn't be the reason why we're superheroes. We're superheroes because we're awesome, not because we're girls. And it was being a girl power moment without being a girl power moment. You know what I mean? Like, she was just being straight. And then her at the party with Starlight she's just phenomenal. I love her to death. However, it boggles my mind. You're good. She can just walk around. But my favorite part of this all is that I lost my train of thought.
Wait, I'm not your train, so I don't know.
I'm trying to get back to it. I like you. She's got the scenes between her and Homelander. That's where I think this character is really shining, because even though they work almost the exact same, Stormfront and Homelander are two opposite sides of the spectrum. They're completely different sides. One does not care what people think of her, and one is all engulfing of people. Like, that's all he's been taught. So I really like her, but what they're doing with her, it makes me realize how much Cricky knew about the future in 2020, and how much his show would resonate with 2020, and how much it has been.
I mean, I feel like with how far they're going and stuff, a lot of people, at least on Twitter and stuff, they said they're not going to finish it. Like, they're not going to see it through because of just like personal things that have happened to them in their life or whatever. It's just a little too, I know a lot of people don't like the word, but it's just the right word to use, triggering to see it happen so graphically on screen.
That guy on the car, man, no one's talking. Everybody talked about it when it happened last Friday, but when he slams that blind kid's head, I just like,
yeah. I mean, it wasn't probably, a lot of people didn't talk about it because it wasn't the most shocking thing. It wasn't the thing they ended with. It was just thrown in the middle of an episode, and it just, happened.
It happened.
Because there's a lot of things that Homelander says that reflects the same thing that Stormfront is saying as well. Oh, we can't have disables. We can't have this or that on the team. What are you, crazy? Blah, 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 blah. And I mean, I think the point here is the fact that this person who has an amazing power and was showing, very cool things had a weakness. And I think that was the point that he was trying to come across. I just feel like the way they did it was in your face, and I think it was much more made for shock value than it was for anything else.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think it was earned.
Yeah. Now the one person that we haven't talked about much because he's only been in a little bit of the show right now is Giancarlo Esposito as Stan and the Compound V stuff. I think the Compound V stuff is going to show up at the end of the season. I think when Lamplighter shows up again, Shawn Ashmore, I think that's when we're going to get our real dig deep into Compound V and how we're going to know how that came to be. And maybe we'll find out the birth of Homelander, like how that, the Superman godlike being to be created for the team. Overall, very much enjoying it. It's getting us through September right now, which is my big thing. Like, it's something I look forward to every week in September now.
Yeah.
And it'll just lead us right into Mandalorian next month. So I am all for it. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it.
4 more weeks.
Yep. Give me more of it.
I guess there's something to be really happy about the fact that it's a weekly release, because you have another week and you don't have to wait for the next season or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think the way the TV show is done, I feel like arcs would be fine. I just don't think. I understood when they said, "Oh, it's because we're talking about such adult things and we want to make sure everybody understands them and everybody can go through them however they want through the week before we show something else that's also, maybe pushing the envelope and stuff." But I don't know. And I don't think every episode needs a scene that pushes the envelope even further. I don't think all the shock value scenes, I don't think need to be in every episode. And it just seems like that's the reason why they decided to do this weekly schedule, is because that's what they have. They're like, oh, there's so much, we don't want to give it to you all at once. Because I mean, if anything has shown anything, rage with people is not smart.
No.
So I don't know. All right, well, let's move on. What do you want to go to next, Zachary? I mean, you chose that one, so you may choose the next one.
You choose next.
All right, we're gonna go over to a smaller story. A very exciting story.
You start this. I gotta let the cat out of the room.
Oh, okay. So Scream 5, which has yet to be confirmed. Here's the thing. Everybody's like, is it a sequel? Is it a reboot? What is this? And I have a feeling that it's both. It's a sequel to Scream 4, but it's also a reboot in the sense of ways that we're going to bring in new people who are going to be following if they continue on. Would say Scream 5 does really well. Scream 4 did moderately okay, and then the TV show was pretty popular when it was good. Not extremely popular, but kind of popular. But with everybody coming back, we're going to go through the cast, and I think the release date works really well for it as well. It's not a huge release date. It's nothing big or anything, but it's exciting. I personally feel like it's going to set up the next generation of Scream fans while letting us have a satisfying ending to the Screams that we loved before. And so what I'm talking about here is that the cast is fully assembled that we know of. That includes Neve Campbell just signed her contract. Her reasoning why she didn't want to come back is because she didn't think that Wes Craven would be done justice, and she didn't want to do another one without him. I also think because of money, she is the star. She should get paid the most of everybody. And so I think that also was a factor. But according to her, the script's really good, and the directors and stuff, I have confidence, and I think they're really good as well. You liked Ray or not? I thought they did a very nice job. I'm pretty sure it's the same writing team as well, and that was really well written as well.
Ray or Not is one of the best written thrillers I've watched in a while.
Yeah.
And they could bring that kind of sensibility to a Scream movie, especially with the mystery aspect of Scream and trying to figure out who Ghostface is. I think it'll add a lot to it. By the way, is Matthew Lillard coming back too?
There's talks to have a few more cameos, but that's all they're going to be, is that they're going to be cameos. This could be.
Didn't he die in the first movie though?
Not necessarily. We don't exactly know. A lot of the deaths, and I mean, the sister left Craven's eye and things. He left them open-handed. There's only a few deaths, and that's if they get shot in the head, that they're dead.
Right.
None of the other ones have ever really been shown. Only the main killers have ever been shown dead. Like somebody had asked, "Oh my God, is Emma Roberts coming back?" No, she got shot in the head. I mean, she can't come back. And those are the only ones that are the workarounds and stuff. Courtney Cox, was coming back. David Arquette's coming back. The newcomers, Jack Quaid, who we just talked about, Healy, will be one of the big stars of the movie. Ooh. And then Jenny Ortega, who is coming off of The Babysitter 2. She's one of the leads in that movie. Kyle Gardner, who has done a lot of these. Dylan Mantini, also done a lot of these. Deputy Judy Hicks is coming back from Scream 4. And so there's going to be a few cast members in there. And if they go down the stab route, we can also have a very fun opening, because one of the best parts of Scream 4 is the opening, which is where all of our favorite people get killed off. So I'm very looking forward to this.
Let me ask you a question.
Totally.
Do you think anybody, I know they're not technically within the same canon or not, do you think anybody from the TV show could show up in this?
No, I don't think so, because they decided not to combine them and stuff.
That'd be cool, though.
Season 3 had some hints as a Willsboro, but it did so horrible that I don't see them trying to push for people from season 3 to come. I just feel really bad because I really love the story. We never got a conclusion to Emma's story, and they're all so much older now that we could never go back to it. I just feel gypped.
Well, that's not true. I mean, now that they're older, they could technically go back and do a kind of Scream 4 thing they did with 4.
Kinda, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll see what Scream 5 does. If Scream 5 doesn't do well, I'm sure they'll try to make it into a TV show. It's just so profitable. It's just so well known. Some people say it's one of the best, horror films, the original of all time. So they're going to continue for years from now to continue to make them.
So that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. So as you know, your other favorite horror series is Child's Play.
Totally.
And they are doing the miniseries between Sci-Fi and USA to end that. If let's say Scream 5 does really well,
yeah.
What if they decide to come back and do a Scream 6, but as a miniseries to end it. Like they do like a show with everybody.
Hey, okay, we're back. I don't know. I feel like if it does really well profitably, and if the movie doesn't cost very much, I feel like we'll get more sequels. I mean, the original plan for Wes Craven is that he originally planned to make 4, 5, 6. That was his original idea. 4 did not do as well as they were hoping, and so like, okay, what else could you want to do with it? You know, we don't want to give up on this. I think it should still be in the mainstream eye, but what's your next idea? And so he's like, I want to do a TV show, but not based in the world that I built, just with the name and the idea of like, you know, the very typical horror idea, you know, what made it famous, which is why the TV show was born. And then he died, and then they're like, oh, we'll go back to what made it famous. It didn't do well, and so now we're trying again as a movie all these years later, because it's going to be 11 years or 10 years after, no, 11 years after Scream 10 came out.
After Scream 10?
I mean, 4, 3, Scream 3. So many numbers. But it's coming out January 14th, which I think is a great release date. It's a small movie. It does not need to be in October. I think a lot of people are going to be like, it should have been in October, but I personally, I don't think so. It's not done. Scream movies have not done well in the fall months. So I think this is a good spot for it.
Yeah.
A little niche. You know, I think like maybe the first week of September or the last week of August would have maybe been a good, but it's all a mess. You know, who knows if it will stay, because, you know, COVID. So speaking of things that are not staying where they're supposed to be, we have some sad delays to talk about. Some of them are just so massive that it's just like, why'd you move it? You should have just put it on streaming. And we'll get into that.
So,
Shadow, you want to talk about the first one because you brought it to my attention?
The what? Oh.
Um,
I'm blanking. I am so blank. Oh, yes. Yes. So thank you. Thank you for using the bobblehead to get my head go. Oh, okay. I get it. I got it. Stop it. Put her down. Put her down. I'm not continuing until you put her down. Thank you. So I read there was an article account today. Disney had their bi-monthly money call and investor call, and we got to hear what's going on currently, how Disney's thinking and reacting to everything going on in the world of Disney. And well, first off, they're not happy with Mulan at all. Mulan did not do what they were thinking it was going to do, and so therefore now they're kind of questioning this whole Premier Access thing on Disney Plus. And so they're not to their defense or anything. I think Premier Access started off with a weak film with a bunch of controversy around it, and so therefore it just didn't work out for them. So we are now hearing that Soul. We're gonna get to Black Widow in a little bit, but we're now hearing that Soul, the next Pixar film, will be actually moving to Disney Plus instead of hitting its November release date originally. I think this is smart. Onward did very well for them on Disney Plus after it was in theaters for a week or whatever. So I think it'll be a smart move to move Soul there, because it's been a lukewarm reaction to Soul with each trailer coming out after for Soul, and no one's really looking forward to it. So I think it'd be really good to put it on Disney Plus, make it a good Thanksgiving family film for the holidays. However, after listening to you talk about it, I think it'd be best to push Black Widow to February if you're going to move it again. Because let's be completely real, there's nothing left in 2020 to give you a release date for it. We'll talk about that when we get to Christmas. Warner Brothers. And so it sucks. That means you have gone for the first time in 11 years without a Marvel film being released. That's crazy.
I think the part that they really fucked up on, if we're just talking about Marvel movies in general, I think there was way too big of a gap in between Avengers Endgame and a new one. I think they should have started maybe in like February or something.
Far from Home. It went Endgame, Far From Home. Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
So it really wasn't, because it went April, July, and we went May.
Yeah. I don't
which
know.
is a typical releasing schedule point for Marvel anyway.
Well, normally they have one in the beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year. That's like a typical Marvel release schedule.
So do you think they should
And
have pushed it to January this year?
well, no, I personally feel like maybe Black Widow should have been maybe in March because Captain Marvel did so well in March, and then Eternals in May, and then whatever was supposed to be after that, I don't even know anymore. Shang-Chi probably in November because I think that would have been a good release date. That type of thing, because I just feel like there was too much time and they ended up screwing themselves over. Not that if this would have debuted in March, it couldn't debut in March. It still wouldn't be early enough, to debut. It would have to be did like in January or February, and it definitely shouldn't have been in those ballparks. I don't know. It just sucks. It sucks. Is the ultimate answer. And now it's getting placed probably in February, where I think it should go if they're moving it.
But so we now know what's going on with Disney, which
Yeah.
is they're moving everything around. This still doesn't give us an indication of the Disney Plus shows anymore, of when that's going to be happening now. It's safe to assume that if Black Widow gets pushed to 2021, that Falcon Winter Soldier will probably get pushed to 2021 as well. I'm assuming.
Well, Falcon and Winter Soldier are just now starting to film, and the original report saying that they only had a few episodes left was wrong. They only filmed the first 3 episodes, so they have a lot more to film, and so more likely it would get pushed anyways. I don't see any of the Disney Plus Marvel TV shows making it at all in 2020.
No, not right now. And then the other big company that made both of our opinions, a stupid decision is Warner Brothers. They have decided to push Wonder Woman 1984 to December 25th of all days. So they're trying to capitulate on 2017's Aquaman, not 2017, 2018 Aquaman situation, which I'm like, great. Aquaman was a real whop bam boom $1 billion thing. It wasn't like a projected $1 billion film. It just happened. And I love Wonder Woman. Don't get me wrong. But releasing your film during a pandemic on a family day.
Also, releasing your film, supposedly marketed as a family film. I don't really think it looks like a family film, but supposedly marketed as a family film on a family day that's 2.5 hours long, that also takes place during the 4th of July.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean, what was the biggest joke about Shazam? That it was a Christmas film released on July 4th or around that time. And then the whole thing with Dune. Like, if they're going to do this, then push Dune, honestly, or push Wonder Woman. Do not. I think John Campea put it brilliantly on his show. Warner Brothers is going to cannibalize on their own audience, because the audience that wants to see Dune wants to see Wonder Woman 1984. And I think that you're finally, the nail's been put. The theater coffin's now done for Wonder Woman. It just needs to go to HBO Max, because honestly, Max needs it. They are losing subscribers by the day because they just don't. Their content, while it's good, it doesn't make you come back to watch their stuff.
I still think it's the best streaming service.
Netflix is still mine.
Or I would say it's HBO Max or Netflix. They're my 2 most used. If I go anywhere, it's HBO Max or it's Netflix.
For me, it's Netflix and Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I don't even touch HBO Max. I only touch it if I really want to watch a Batman movie, and that's all I ever use it for, which sucks. But yeah, it's just like for me, if I was paying for HBO Max, it'd probably be gone by now. I don't use it enough. And if they said Wonder Woman 1984 holiday 2020 exclusively on HBO Max, you got my money. You've got my money. But no, they're trying. Warner Brothers is so fucking oriented on doing a theater thing that they're going to ruin their company. Because look at Tenet. Tenet is a clear indication. 84 Dune will not work this year at all in theaters.
So going a little bit off what Zachary said, we are going to talk about, so currently in the U.S., we're just talking about U.S. alone, around 70, because a lot of other places, almost every theater is open if you're not in the United States, because it's nowhere near. We're the baddest with all the COVID stuff. 70% of U.S. cinemas have opened. That does not include the big markets such as New York City, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Now, the rumor was a minute ago, San Francisco was supposed to be opening the week of Wonder Woman, that they were going to wait until Wonder Woman came out and then opened for Wonder Woman. Now that's December, so like lots of waiting. There isn't really a big movie coming out. Every movie that could have possibly came out for the later half this year either moved that would be like theater worthy or is not theater worthy. And so yeah. But it's only made $29 million here in North America and $177 million. It needs to make 500 plus to even think about breaking even. That's not including advertising and reshoots. That's just on the initial average of the budget, which was over $200 million. Having seen the movie, I can understand why it was that expensive. But I still personally don't think that logically, because you have to share your numbers if you release a movie, you know, if it goes into the box office. And so you know that movie was a flop. Mm-hmm. If it was on HBO Max, we would never know Tenet was a flop. We would just assume Tenet did well because it's Christopher Nolan. But now Christopher Nolan has his back on his head that, oh, I pushed for this and it's a flop, you know? And so that I think there is something.
And like, the bigger thing with this, especially with Warner Brothers, is that they have now had 2 consecutive flops for the year. They have Birds of Prey at the beginning of the year, Tenet in the middle, and
but unfortunately, almost made all of its money back in the ancillary market. So it was a flop in theaters, but it was not a flop overall.
That's what I'm trying to get at here. Theater-wise, Birds of Prey didn't do well for them. Tenet's not doing well, and I still don't get why they're looking at Dune and Wonder Woman going, they're going to be our ticket. You thought Tenet was going to be your ticket, and it wasn't. Yeah. And I understand. Well, it's Wonder Woman. Everyone wants to see Wonder Woman. I have talked to 3 different people at my work who love going to the movies. They're waiting until next year to go. They're not going to risk it. It's not their forte. That's just 3. For every 3 people, maybe 2 will want to go. So that means every 30 people, 10 of them will want to go. So you're looking at maybe a good weekend for Wonder Woman on opening day for Christmas, 15, 20 maybe at the latest. That is not a DC number at all. That's a Dune number. I'm looking forward to Dune. 10 to 15 million is a Dune number, not Wonder Woman.
$200+ million budget.
Yeah.
For Dune.
Which is supposed to be a 2-part film.
Yep. No, this is actually supposed to be, there's 7 books in the Dune series. So it's actually the beginning of a whole franchise.
Oh boy.
So they should wait to make sure that these franchises can thrive. Yeah, right, exactly. And then like Zachary said, Soul also is, I think that's a perfect movie to put on Disney Plus, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think there is slight controversy around Soul already as the the movie itself and things. And so I think personally, putting it on Disney Plus and not having to like really worry about, I think it's like a smart move. And
bring up the controversy word, Jacob does.
Huh?
Bring up the controversy word, Jacob does.
I'm just saying. And that seems where premium access is supposed to be.
Now, yeah. Here's my question: do you think Soul would be a premium access movie, or
for sure? Yeah, premium access movie for sure. Yep. But the rumor is that premium access, once you buy it once, that's all you have to buy it for. It's not pay $30 every movie. It's only $30 the one movie, and then you can come back and you can watch anything that's on there. So it's not like you're buying that movie. You're just buying the pass to be able to, say, oh, I'm a Disney Plus Premium Access member for $30 extra. So $90 a year. Because once our subscription ends, Disney Premium Access has to be renewed as well. So we have it.
By the way, if that's the case, I'm paying for regular Disney Plus, and you've got the Premium Access, pal.
Well, personally, I don't really think I would want. I don't think Soul is enough to make me buy Premium Access again. So, yeah. Other movies that have moved, I think, are just so stupid. Greenland moved. The Gerard Butler film about the end of the world, it moved. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what? Yeah, really nothing is coming out in September anymore. And Candyman was also pushed into 2021 without any release date whatsoever. I don't know where that's going to go.
Now, when we talked about this on the phone yesterday, you told me that, well, it makes sense because of everything going on. I still think it's absolutely insane. So Sony came out and said that they have pushed every single film on their slate indefinitely, which until the pandemic is over. And I think this is crazy because you're not only holding Sony fans hostage now until your pandemic's done, you're kind of holding up the MCU because Marvel Studios cannot release Spider-Man 3 without Sony's right to release. And so what's going to happen with that now until that happens? Like, will that just halt the MCU entirely, or will they just move forward without Spider-Man? We don't know. The one that disappoints me the most about all this, though, is Ghostbusters. I've been looking forward to Ghostbusters ever since we saw that first teaser. And the fact that we now know they're pushing all their movies until the pandemic is over, I don't know where we're going to see anything.
I do have a question. Where did you see this? Who was your article? Who was your source?
Deadline and Hollywood were talking about it. And I can actually look up on...
I pulled up Hollywood Reporter.
Because Campia talked about it.
What, doesn't he work for Collider?
No, he's his own.
He's his own? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Because I don't see it. I'm not saying it's not, like, true, but I had not seen anything for that at all. I don't know. Let me know if you find it, okay? We'll move on.
I found it.
Oh, okay.
Sony not opening any other big movies until pandemic over. It was from 4 days ago.
From 4 days ago? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll look it up later.
Hang on, I can give you the Joe Blow talked about it. Joe Blow.
Oh, okay. That's why. Gotcha. Let's see. My computer's like, I don't want to search it. Speaking of Joe Blow, did you hear Madonna? Did you hear about Madonna?
That's just...
I think it's fine. I think she does deserve her own movie. I just don't know if they should have allowed her to direct it.
I agree. And then you know about the whole Paris Hilton thing going on right now?
She has a documentary out, yeah. On it's a YouTube Red thing.
YouTube original.
Yeah. Yep, it just popped up on my to watch list on YouTube.
Huh.
It's because I tend to watch those type. I mean, it's in the right variety of things I would tend to click on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, unless you're bringing up the article from Joe Blow.
Just searching for it. Ooh, interesting. I'll look for it later. It's not that important. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think it's going to be true. I feel like that they're going to have to. I mean, I still agree. Sony has so many different vehicles and stuff that they make money off of that theoretically, if they wanted to hold their content until 2022, they could hold their content in 2022.
But what does that say to you? That's my biggest thing with all this, is that Sony holds the rights to put out Spider-Man 3. So what does that do to the MCU?
Then we just won't know what happens in that particular one. And we have no idea when that's actually going to get released. You know, it right now has a tentative like December date. I think it's actually coming out near Christmas.
December next year.
Yeah. So, but that's a tentative date. Who knows? I really hope that they don't do like a Christmas movie. They really need a movie because we're running into that same problem again with Wonder Woman 1984. If you make a movie surrounded by a date, you cannot score that date. Right now, they didn't see the pandemic coming in either of these defenses. Then let's say we have another movie where it's like Christmas in like May. I don't want to see a Christmas movie in May, in my personal opinion. Do you want to see a Christmas movie in May?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, a Christmas in July thing, because of Hallmark. So, like, I guess that could work around. And Spider-Man has released for July before. So, like, I guess they could try to figure out, another way to sell this. I don't know. I can understand why, because he's such a John Hughes, the person who directs it. He's such
Yeah.
a huge fan, and that would make so much sense because he's directed so many amazing Christmas movies, and there's so many good sets up. But still, I think in the long run, it could really fuck up a lot of things.
Okay.
So yeah, all right, let's move over into another smaller story, and then we'll move into, maybe a bigger story. So Don't Worry, Darling. Zachary was like, what is Don't Worry, Darling? And I have some news for you. Don't Worry, Darling is one of Olivia Wilde's next movies. This is a thriller that is coming out with an all-star cast. It was already an all-star cast, but then it trended, which had not done. Florence Pugh, which you already know I'm going to watch it because Florence Pugh's in it. Hold on.
He's a pop for every person he likes.
Florence Pugh. I do. I truly do. It's an obsession. And then also Harry Styles just joined the cast. This is his next film after. This is what he decided to do instead of Little Mermaid because all that controversy. Look at that word. It keeps popping up. Who else is in this? Let's see here. But it's a huge deal. It's a very big new picture that is gaining momentum really fast.
I have
Olivia
no idea.
Wilde, huh?
I have no idea.
It's described as a psychological thriller centering on an unhappy housewife in the 1950s. It's Florence Pugh, Olivia Wilde, Dakota Johnson, Chris Pine, Harry Styles.
Jesus.
With the leads being Florence Pugh and Harry Styles, and everybody else having smaller roles around them. Florence Pugh will be the housewife. He will be the person married to said housewife. And just everything about this is just like screaming, yeah, okay, I'll watch you. So I was more excited. So, yeah. That's Don't Worry, Darling. Play it on the map. So, we can get it over with. It's fine.
So before we start this at all, I found out some breaking news involving the show while watching our good old friend Grace Randolph.
Yep, I was going to bring it up.
This is nuts. I did not know this. So our good old buddy Mando might not be in his own show for the majority of this season. And to be honest, I'm in agreement with Mando in this little scenario here. About I guess what she said about a month into shooting, Pedro Pascal was like, hey, can I have a couple scenes without the helmet on? And listen, I'm not trying to break Star Wars canon fans here at all. I want to look at you guys directly. Can I have the camera to myself real quick for a second, Jake?
I mean, if you want it, you can have it.
Thank you. Listen, you guys are all going, wow, they're holding the canon. He never takes off his helmet. Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, any Mandalorian we've seen on Clone Wars. What do they do very often? Sabine Wren. What do they do very often? Take off their goddamn helmet. You can come back. Thank you. And so therefore, Jar Jinn should be able to take his helmet off whenever he damn well pleases now. Because, move on with life. I guarantee you, that little green dude has not seen his fucking face yet. Let the kid see his face. Not that big of a deal. But the Mando team is hell-bent on keeping that helmet on. And so therefore, Pedro Pascal has come out and said, I'm done. And
no, he did not say. He just did it.
He's done. Now, I think Grace put it in a very nice way. Let them have their heated moment. Let them die down. Maybe he'll come back. Now, this is why I also think Ahsoka Tano, Captain Rex, Bo-Katan, Sabine Wren, possibly Ezra Bridger, possibly Admiral Thrawn, all popping up Mandalorian Season 2 because, we're going to be losing the Mando, but not in a way I think. So to get to this trailer, we are very opposite on this, bud. I understand that. Let's get that out of the way now. I loved it. From the start to finish, I loved it. You will not get me not to say I love the scene when he's about to do the whispering bird and Baby Yoda goes, "A fuck no." It was so good because he's like, nope.
He's like, what's about to fucking happen? My situation right out there.
And so, but I was also watching a trailer reaction earlier today from Kind of Funny, and the ice planet they go to, Jacob, what does that look like to you? It doesn't look like Hoth. Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, interesting.
Where Cal goes to get his kyber crystal. Maybe they go get little baby Yoda's Kyber crystal.
I don't
Maybe
think.
he gets a little lightsaber. Maybe we get some little jumping effects of him hitting people with lightsabers. I'm just saying, it'd be fucking adorable.
Now, I want to say the biggest thing. I mean, the whole point here, of course, we're talking about the trailer. I personally thought the trailer was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. I just thought it was okay. It really did remind me of the first original trailer for Mandalorian season 1, where I was like, okay, this is what this is gonna be, and like that was kind of the same vibe. Baby Yoda surely helped with that vibe. I was like, Baby Yoda, there you are. You're so cute, you little bastard. Oh my god, I love him. But he did help. I'm not gonna lie. Major improvements. But I have a question. He says, specifically in this trailer, I don't go anywhere he doesn't go. If we don't have a Mandalorian, does that mean no more Baby Yoda?
No, I think something's going to happen this season to where I either think that Baby Yoda is going to find Ahsoka and Sabine, and they're going to continue his journey with them.
See, that's what I was thinking. But this is all build up to give him to the Jedis, and the Mando can run around with the Jedis, and so we're giving him to his people, and then we're gonna follow them going forward.
That's what is happening. So in the trailer, which this trailer is brilliant in a sense, because in the first 15 seconds they tell you the entire plot of the season. Mando and Baby Yoda looking for the Jedi. That's the entire plot for the season, with some ancillary stories going along the way. And there are shots in this trailer we've never seen in the Star Wars movie before. Like when 4 fucking land speeders jump off a fucking ship, go. I'm like, we haven't seen scout troopers do that before. That's fucking dope. Or when the TIE fighter goes, I'm like, you're gonna wreck shit up. And then the coolest part, this past week, we have seen the Rebellion as an enemy, and I love seeing those X-wing fighters be enemies. Because it's like, so now we're seeing the Rebellion after the Empire has fallen. Now they're like, we're all musky and proud because we destroyed a giant ball in the sky. And I'm like, that's cool. We get to see Mando use his jetpack, and I'm like, that's a payoff from season 1. We see Cara Dune. We see Carl Weathers. I always forget his name, but it's Carl Weathers looking dope as fuck in his new outfit. We don't see any Moff Gideon. Now let's talk about the Sasha Banks in the room, if you will. We see Sasha Banks on that little waterport town when they talk about the Jedi. And I feel like that's a little bit of a role reversal. She's not a Jedi. She is actually, I believe, we've all been talking about this, about her playing Sabine Wren. I think she's watching over Mando and Baby Yoda to see what's going to be going on, to see if they're ready to go meet Ahsoka. I think that's what's going on. So, as we all know, this takes place after Return of the Jedi. We now know that Captain Rex was there during the Battle of Endor. Maybe Mandalorian's going to run into Rex at a bar after the war going, I lost all my brothers before the war. I have no brothers after the war, and I'm just by myself. It's sad. It's depressing. It's the clones. That's all it is. And everybody's been complaining about the shot where it goes completely black and we hear Mando fighting. I like that because it's keeping our interest going. How's that fight actually going when he gets to stabbing that guy in the chest? And I'm like, that's interesting. The effects look gorgeous. The show looks really great. And yeah, I'm ready. I am ready. Don't give me another teaser. I'm done. You sold me. Done. I didn't even need this. I'm like, just show me a Baby Yoda picture. I'm good.
I am want to make this very clear to anybody out there in the interwebs. I am not done. I personally want another trailer because I know that either this is all in the first 3 episodes, which is possible, or it's only scattered throughout. So I want to know what else I'm watching, you know? So I think there's a mystery.
Do you want them to show anybody? Do you want them to show Ahsoka? Do you want them to show Rex? Do you want them to do that?
Ahsoka. I think if I see Ahsoka and I like how Ahsoka looks in character, full on, I'll be sold. If I don't,
now let me bring this up. What if they show Ahsoka? What if they show her? She's only in 1 episode for the show. That's it. Then you're giving away your big load for the season. I do. I want to know where she's at.
I don't care. You don't have to tell me where she's at. Just show me an image. Give me an actual picture of her in costume. Right now.
Then a picture of her. Go put her in the trailer.
Well, yeah. I mean, fine, whatever. I need something. I'm sorry, Baby Yoda is a lot. I love me some Baby Yoda, but I already know from this point going on that half of these episodes, if they're sporadic throughout the season, or if it's literally halfway point, we're moving on, whatever it might be, might not contain Baby Yoda, and so I need something else to keep me engaged. Right
By
now,
the,
this is.
by the way, I've already told myself that before this season drops, there will be a Baby Yoda in my house somewhere. So I can hold on to him while I watch the show. I've already told myself this. It will happen. There will be a Baby Yoda in this house. I don't know how, but there will be.
So yeah, I don't know. I thought it was medium. I think the best part is definitely him closing the lid.
Oh, no. For me, it's a sound effect. When the Lucasfilm show logo comes up, it was. I'm like, that's Star Wars in a nutshell. It just sets the tone. I'm just like, Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars.
On that note, we're gonna move away from Star Wars because whatever that was, I'm ready to eat my little poop. And we're gonna go over to She-Hulk. This was just announced earlier today. She-Hulk has a director for the pilot episode and also one of the main story writers. I have the name pulled up. I did. I promise. Kate Corio. She's directed a lot of television. That's what she is mostly known for, is a lot of television. But she is the director and writer on a new rom-com starring Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez that's debuting in February of next year. That is supposed to be a really hot ticket, which is really shocking when you put those two together. Huh?
We'll see.
Yeah, it's like playing really well with audiences, like the test audience and stuff. They all really love it, and it was from her. This is the person who did it, and so she's coming over and she's going to be writing part of the episodes for She-Hulk, and she's going to at least be directing the pilot, if not more, episodes throughout the season for the Disney Plus TV show. So now the bigger question here, Zachary, I have to ask you: who would you want to play Jessica? That's the right name.
Yeah, that's her name.
I have a few in my mind that I think would be great.
I honestly don't know.
I know one of the top front runners, which I totally agree with, and I really do hope she gets the role and stuff, especially because her last TV show just ended. Alison Brie would be a phenomenal one, and she is a top runner in like the people who are like for casting. She's up there in the list.
Adrian Pilecki, from the Orville and
Oh, okay. I think I do. I do know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I definitely do. I agree. I think she might. I don't know. Maybe a little too supermodel-ish, in my opinion. I've seen her act and stuff. I think she's a great actress, but I don't know.
She's also a really good bodybuilder. She can put on the muscle for it. I think she'd be good. No, my thing I'm taking away from all this, finding out more about this, is that are they going to make She-Hulk a rom-com show?
Yeah, that's one movie, Zachary. She's directed a whole bunch of other stuff, and she's helped write in a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't think so.
No, I'm genuinely curious about not just her, just in the vibe of the show I've been getting for a while is that, it's going to be us living day by day with her being the lawyer. Like, she's not going to be her cousin of going, grr, 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 grr.
Yeah, so also something else has come out about She-Hulk, because this was big news and stuff. They shared a little more information that She-Hulk in general will be not just about She-Hulk, but about a whole bunch of different Hulks as well. So Mark Ruffalo should be in it. Abomination is rumored to be a part of it, and that type of thing.
Listen, if Mark Ruffalo doesn't show up in a show called She-Hulk at least once, you've missed an opportunity.
I agree. But that should help a lot. Even if it is much more, like, not as dark as some of these other ones are, or whatever it might be, the fact that we're getting to see the whole Hulk, like, Hulks in, like, general, like, so many different versions of them and stuff. I don't know what the race is called.
By the way, Hulk Hogan needs to make a cameo on the show just to go, oh, yeah, look at all the green Hulks. I think it'd be funny.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to ignore him. That's just the answer to that. But we're going to move on to, I think, one of the bigger stories. So,
yeah, look at all the Hulks around me.
So let's move on to King the Conqueror. And I do want to mention with King the Conqueror, we're going to be referencing our good girl, Grace Randolph, again, because she is how I learned this information, and so I'm not the source here. And
I learned from John Campia about this.
Oh yeah, but I mean other things we're going to talk about in this video. Nothing to do with actual Jonathan Mayers.
So we now know that Ant-Man 3 is still going forward. We also know that Jonathan Majors is playing Kang the Conqueror.
Kinda. It has asterisks by it.
No. Major role. He's playing Kang. Let me have my dream right here. No. Let me have my dream right now. Let me have my dream. We'll get back to your reality base that he might not be playing him. Let me have this for a minute.
No, I'm not saying he's not playing Kang the Conqueror. I'm just saying I don't think he's playing a descendant of Reed Richards through Kang the Conqueror.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Huh?
I said Jonathan Majors is playing Kang. I didn't say Jonathan Richards.
No, I said Jonathan. I said Reed Richards. Kang the Conqueror is a direct descendant from Reed Richards. I mean, it's not. Yeah. And so it would have to mean they have to race bend all of Fantastic Four. And like, I don't think that's the case. I think he is playing Kang the Conqueror. I just don't think he's playing that specific person. I think they're changing who the person underneath Kang the Conqueror is. That's all I was saying. Go back to your happy little world. Okay. I'm being with you. Okay. I'm just saying.
I am so excited and yet so disappointed all at the same time. Because Kang the Conqueror, Ant-Man 3?
Oh, okay. So that's where I come in to get you back to being excited.
I have something to say here. Jake, let me ask you a question. If San Diego Comic-Con was a thing, and Kevin Feige came out on stage and said, we're introducing the next big Marvel villain, Kang the Conqueror, what film do you think he would show up in?
Miss Marvel. Not Miss Marvel. Captain Marvel 2.
I would think Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, and once again, we're going to make a direct reference.
Why would you pick Ant-Man 3?
Okay, so let me share some little information that I have heard. And I want to mention I'm going to link the videos down below that were directly referencing the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer reaction and then the King the Conqueror news reaction. Because Grace did give these, 2 tiny scoots, but they were juicy, I tell you. Oh, I gotta share. I have to share. You're going to be so excited. So there's 2 scripts supposedly for Ant-Man 3, okay? One script, this movie is not so much about the Ant-Man characters, which really sucks, but that's just how Marvel is nowadays. All these movies are like Captain Marvel Civil War. It's like Avengers 2.5. This is like Avengers 3.7 or whatever. I don't even know what the direct math would be anymore. And so there's 2 scripts. Both involve King the Conqueror, okay? The first one is Young Avengers. This is where they're supposed to be fully assembled, is in an Ant-Man film, which sounds I'm super duper excited. Which makes sense when you start thinking about Cassie's here, and then they're introducing almost every single version of Young Avengers, and they're getting their own TV show over on Disney Plus that's being called Young Avengers with all these characters and stuff. King the Conqueror plays Iron Lad, which was the founding member of Young Avengers and the most popular run of Young Avengers. It's not in every run, but the most popular run that most people reference. That's who. The other story, which I think is going to make Zachary a little bit more happier about, where he's like, really? Is that really where we're headed? Is Fantastic Four. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. So you had Young Avengers and Fantastic Four, and I have a feeling because they cannot do Reed Richards the way, like with Jonathan Myers and stuff. This was a very specific casting and stuff. I have a feeling they're going to miss them. And not that Iron Lad has to be a part of Young Avengers either. And it's not going to be played by Jonathan Mayers because it's a younger version of the character that he's playing is Iron Lad. So ultimately, it could still happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't know. I have mixed bag on Iron Lad. But yeah, so that's the Ant-Man news. That's the reason why that Kang is in this specific movie, because he's direct reference in both storylines. Yeah. High five to you too.
No, I have a remark.
Oh, okay.
I think they're gonna go a different way. That's what I think. Kang the Conqueror is also very telling in old Egyptian tellings. He was known as the Great Rambutan when he was in Egyptian times, and this is how I think they're going to introduce, excuse my nerdness here, the X-Men. Rambutan was around. Let me have my moment. I gave you yours.
You can have your moment. I'm just going to let you have it by yourself.
Rambutan Rambutan was around during the first mutant, which we all know is Apocalypse, when he was around making towers and such. And so I believe that Kang will be introduced in the MCU. He is a time traveler. Hang on.
Do you
My
know?
computer is. Thank you. He was around during the introduction of the mutants. And so I feel that, so we now know that Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, is about time travel. Kang the Conqueror is a time traveling villain. He goes through time and fucks it up. That's just Kang's thing. And so I feel as though he's going to munch through time to where the mutants are integrated within the MCU without them even realizing it. And there is a lot of possibilities with Kang. It doesn't have to be Fantastic Four. It's going to be X-Men. My big thing about this is this. You can come back. I'm excited for Kang. Don't get me wrong. I am super excited for Kang the Conqueror. I'm happy for this guy. I'm happy Lovecraft Country is doing so well for him. The fact that he got this role is huge. I just think personally, to put my nerd aside, I love the fact that Ant-Man films so far have been these small, intimate, films about family and about, it's not about saving the world. It's about saving your town. And how Spider-Man's been. And I love that. I love having this niche little area when it comes to that. And I feel like introducing Kang in an Ant-Man film takes away from that. When I think Ant-Man, I think Ant-Man, the Wasp, and now I think of his daughter being the three. And the notion of the Young Avengers right now, I think is crazy. I think is absolutely insane because they have not introduced Kate yet. The Hulkling's not around yet.
They're going to be introduced in WandaVision.
Yes, they are, and that's great and everything. But we're not there. I want to see everybody before we get to Young Avengers. And so, therefore, we're going off one character.
Isn't
and also,
slated for...
you got to do Ultron again. I think Ultron fits better with the Young Avengers storyline than Kang does.
No, I disagree. Like, hardcore. So we are on two different levels here. I disagree so much that I'm just a little shocked, but it's fine. It's okay. I also, in personal opinion, think Ant-Man and the Wasp is one of the worst MCU movies. And I think part of that reason is because it's so freaking small, is that it does not fit. And
but not every MCU film needs to have a dire weight to end the world. Like it's cool to have those really. That's why Ant-Man 1's so great, because it doesn't involve mass destruction of the world.
Honestly, Ant-Man itself, it just needs a little extra. I think it needs the extra boost, in my personal opinion.
Is Kang the extra though?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this.
Honestly, Jacob, really think about it. When you think Ant-Man, you think extraterrestrial time-traveling person? I think Doctor Strange over Ant-Man. I want to be excited about this. I want to be excited because it's in the comic, but I can't.
Okay, I have a question. How in the world does Ant-Man not scream time travel to you?
Because this was the MCU's fault. It really is. Whenever I think quantum realm, I don't think time travel. I think the microverse. I think smaller. I think getting smaller and smaller. I think about tiny prisons holding max security people.
Oh my god! I think we need to move on. I think we broke him. I think he's broken. I think we need a. I think he's broken. Oh my god! Really? Wow. Oh, this would have been that moment if we were together. I'd give him a big old hug because he deserves it. He needs one. That makes me so. The only premise of Ant-Man and the Wasp that I enjoyed is you don't care. That's great. Oh, that's so fascinating. Really,
I love the intimate part of Ant-Man so much, and bringing in an interdimensional, godlike being who can control time in a way where he doesn't need a reality, where he doesn't need an Infinity Stone is weird. To bring into an Ant-Man film, he fits better with Doctor Strange. Logistically, he fits better.
I don't agree with that. I also don't personally think Peyton Reed has what it takes. So
I disagree with you in a heartbeat.
No, So that's
Peyton
good.
Reed is so far my favorite director besides the Russo brothers. I think he's done fantastic work. And John Hughes. Those are that's my trio of directors for MCU is
John
the
Hughes.
Russo brothers, John Hughes, and
Let me
not
look.
John, the guy who directs Spider-Man,
I know. I was just,
and then Taika. Those are the four. And they all get small because even Thor Ragnarok, where it is a world-ending movie, it's not though. It's about a man finding himself not trying to be the god that he is, but just be the man that he is. That's what Ant-Man is. Ant-Man's got a family man trying to do what's right for his family, not try to save the world. That's what he. And Spider-Man's the same way. I like the smaller characters, and it grounds the bigger ones. Where we have like our giant interdimensional travelings with Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch with Doctor Strange. We have our small, intimate meetings with Ant-Man and the villain of the week kind of thing. That's what I like. That being said, I'm super fucking excited for King the Conqueror, and it's going to bring a lot to the MCU. It's going to fuck things up. I'm looking forward to it very much. I trust Kevin Feige more than I trust my left foot. My left foot sucks right now. So therefore, Kevin Feige is on the higher edge.
If I really wouldn't know, I'd ask you the question, are you sure you're excited? Because I just heard a whole bunch of negativeness come out of your mouth. But we're just going to leave it where it is. And I think Zachary should touch on another thing that he had popped up at the very beginning of the podcast he wanted to talk about. And I want to make sure that I do have the article pulled up. So
yes. So I was looking into DC fandom over the weekend. And to be honest, Hall of Heroes was the superior of the two for sure. No offense to anything from TV, it just was. But during all that, Muschietti came out and said that they're going to be using The Flash as a restart film for the DCEU moving forward. It's going to restart everything, and we're going to see more characters than just Batman in this film. We're going to see versions of Superman. We're going to see versions of Wonder Woman. We're going to be seeing versions of pretty much all the Justice League. And but we're also going to be seeing, from what I've been hearing, we're going to be seeing the TV version of Barry Allen in the film. We're going to be seeing a certain Smallville show up in the movie as well from Smallville. We'll be seeing different versions of the characters. I've also heard that there is a rumor that an animated version of characters might show up in the film as well in some way, shape, or form. They're going through the multiverse of the DCU, but by the end of the film, it is going to be a restart point of where, and so this is where I now feel more certain that Ben Affleck's role in this film is small and Michael Keaton's role is big. I feel as though this film is going to start with Barry going to where this version of the DC universe started, because we can't unfortunately do it with Christopher Reeve. The next best person to do it with Michael Keaton. He's going to go back to Keaton, back to Bruce from '89 and says, listen, our timeline's fucked. Something happened in our timeline, Warner Brothers DC, because you guys all don't know how to run a franchise. And he's going to go, we need your help. You started this. We need your help to fix it. He's like, I'm Batman. I can do whatever I want. And so therefore they go on their multiverse adventure. And did I just do Doctor Strange or do the Flash? I don't know which one I did.
So the exact comment that Andy Muschietti said, which I find this to be so confusing, that I don't even know how to process it in my brain. So let me read it to you, because I just wow.
Yeah.
In a way, the Flash restarts everything and doesn't forget anything.
Okay, so I can actually explain this to you. So how can I explain this to you? Because you're watching the Flash show. Well, no, you're actually seeing some of the stuff with the Speed Force of Flash. Now he remembers things from current time, whatever. So that's how they're going to explain that, is that Barry will be the only one that will remember anything prior to his Flashpoint run. He'll remember the Justice League Zack Snyder cut. He'll remember Bruce Wayne as Ben Affleck. He'll remember Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. He'll remember Henry Cavill as Superman. He'll remember Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He'll remember all of it. And he'll be the only one that remembers. That's it. You remember on X-Men Days of Future Past that Logan and Charles were the only two that remembered anything from what happened in the past? That's that kind of mentality.
I don't remember anything from X-Men Days of Future Past except
pissed on you. I get it.
What?
Because someone pissed on you. I get it.
No, I just didn't like the movie, Zach. God.
Ooh,
No smile face here.
I hit a nerve. I'm sorry. Jacob, you're going to be shocked at what I tell you what I've been watching.
I'm excited. You can go first then. Sure, why not?
So I watched a very old movie this past week. A very old film from the 80s. No, it's an 80s movie, but it's a good old film. It's the weirdest fucking movie I've ever seen. It's called The Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh my god, you watched The Little Shop of Horrors?
I finally sat down and watched it, and I instantly regret watching said film. Oh, good. I love Rick Moranis. That man is a god of comedy, and he can do no wrong. But he is not a singer. Not in the slightest. And it shows a lot. Although I now get the famissimo. I get that now. I get what that means. It means he's feeding a human to a plant. And I'm like, that's fucking weird. And then the plant gives birth to tiny little plants, and they become like a little musical quartet for the plant. They go, ah. It's just like 6 little plants going, ah, before they eat Rick Moranis and the whole thing.
Little Shop of Horrors for you.
But it's so fucking funny.
Can I ask what in the world encouraged you to want to watch Little Shop of Horrors?
The song Sounds Like Plant Food to Me came up on my YouTube page, and I'm like, I've never seen this, so I listened to it. I'm like, it's kind of catchy. So I was like, let's see the film attached to this, and the film attached to the song, not catchy, outdated, if you will.
Just a smidge validation. Yep.
To be honest, it kind of stopped me from watching anything else. I was like, that's just a moment. That's been my moment for the week so far, and we'll let it stay that way, and that's what it's been.
Oh, okay. Well, I have been kind of watching a few things. I watched a few movies yesterday. I watched This Means War, which had been a long time since I've seen.
That's a good one.
Which was an MCG film, by the way.
Mick
G. Huh?
Mick G.
Yep. So, that was the excuse for not wanting to watch The Babysitter, because he couldn't stand the name of the director. And yet, as I went through the director's list, I was like, Zachary, a few of these films are your favorites. And I realized that afterwards. So I should have just forced him to watch The Babysitter. Moral of the story. Either way, I watched...
What's he directed that I liked besides This Means War?
Oh, he has... Oh, you should look it up. He has a list, I tell you.
Go on.
Honestly, it's mostly movies I liked. But either way, there were movies you saw that you thought that were fine. Either way. I also watched Savages again because I wanted to watch it. I watched all the romantic parts in 7 different rom-coms. Yeah, I could not tell you at all. I just watched the romance scenes. And then I watched some TV. I catched up on Lovecraft Country, and that was very good, very disturbing. This last episode had a lot of body horror, which was a little different for it, so that was fun. I started Alias because it's on Amazon Prime if anybody's interested in checking it out. And then I obviously continued with Arrowverse. I'm on episode 7 of DC Legends of Tomorrow. I'm still in the middle of season 4 of Arrow, season 2 of The Flash, and season 1 of Supergirl. And then I also continued on Orange is the New Black as well.
In your eye?
Oh, and then we watched Cars.
Oh, and I wanted to ask.
It was an interesting time. I'm telling you, it wasn't bad. I think the message was still very strong. Then I watched Cars 2. Yeah, that was still as bad as I remembered it. So it didn't have anywhere near it. Then I watched Frozen 2.
One of my favorite Pixar jokes. Wasabi? Oh, same old, same old. What's up with you? It's one of my favorite jokes of the movie.
And I watched Frozen 2 again.
Of course you did.
Well, we were going to watch Cinderella, the live-action Cinderella, but it was too sad, so we turned on Frozen 2.
Yeah,
and I said, this is what we're moving on for happiness? And it's like, it's just so happy. By the end of the movie, she looked at me, she's like, it's not so happy. I think it's because all the bad stuff happens with the Frozen.
You also have both been playing Avengers, and we're both different on this as well.
No, I'm enjoying myself.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's all.
I don't love it like he just said all romantically, but I'm enjoying myself.
I am restarting my Mandalorian rewatch starting the 1st of October, so I'm excited about that. I'll watch it once every week till we get to the 30th.
Well, how many episodes are in Mandalorian?
8.
Until you get to the 30th. Let's see. The 30th is a Friday. So there's 5 weekends starting on October 2nd in October. 6, 7. Okay, if you're really trying to watch this week to week, I recommend starting on the 18th, which is this Friday coming up, and watching 2 episodes because you missed the premiere. If you're trying to bring in another TV show on your week-to-week schedule. If you're trying to binge watch, you can do this however you want. But if you're trying to do this on like I'm watching it every Friday, well, you should have started on the 11th. I'm very sorry to tell you that. Speaking of dates and things, let's move over to movie commentary, which it's just really, really confusing this month. So Zachary, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Do you have another day off this week?
Hi.
So what's today?
Yeah. If it helps, I get off at 6 on Friday.
On Friday, perfect. Okay, that does help a lot. I mean, that helps like tremendous. I was expecting from like 11 o'clock here. Oh, he's double checking. He doesn't want to give me false hope. That's smart. You should do that.
Say what the movie is.
Oh, Black Panther, guys. Depending, we might watch Black Panther the week after. We might watch Watchmen. If I go see Black Panther on Thursday, I'm not gonna want to watch.
Would you rather do it on a Thursday or a Friday?
Why is that?
I get off at 5:30 on Friday and 6 on. I get off at 5:30 on Thursday and 6 o'clock on Friday.
We're gonna go for a Friday just because I am supposed to go into movies with Mom on Thursday, so I might not be.
So then yes, I get off at 6 on Friday.
All right. So it's either going to be Black Panther or it's going to be Watchmen. Watchmen's the ultimate cut. It's 3 hours and 35 minutes. You do have to buy it. Any version you can find either on Amazon and or HBO, which is currently on, is either the original version or the director's cut. I have not been able to find the ultimate cut on anything you can stream. So it is $14.99. If you're invested, I don't see why you would be. But if you are, good for you. I had to pay it. Maybe I should make you too. And the week after, on whatever date Zachary is off or gets off somewhat early, we'll be watching the other one, either Black Panther or Watchmen. It depends. If I see Black Panther on Thursday, I know for a fact I'm not going to want to watch it again on Friday. So,
that's fair.
That would only be the reason why we don't watch this week. It's not because I don't want to watch it. It's because I'm going to go pay respect in the movie theater, watching it in the movie theater. Yeah. Then I'll rewatch it with you guys again.
I think that's show.
That's show. That is show.
Look at us. We're under the hour 20-minute mark.
No, we're under the hour and 26-minute mark. Do you have any last minute stories you want to discuss?
No, I'm good.
No 8-minute stories?
Nope.
All right. Well, Zachary, you know what that means?
As always, guys, make sure to like, rate, subscribe, hit that comment section, hit the notification bell, subscribe both on podcasts and YouTube. As always, check back weekly to see what's going on in the world of movies and how we're doing our movie commentaries for that month. And we will see you guys next Sunday, Monday, and or Tuesday, whenever we can do this.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yep.
And I'm going to hit that music. Wah, 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 wah.